Study students, today we are going to start with our second story, The Tiger King. Very important, very interesting story it is. Listen to me carefully. I will try my best to explain the whole content. The writer, the author, introduces the main character of the story, the king of Pratibandhapuram. He is the protagonist. The king is the hero due to his bravery. He is given a list of titles to emphasize on his greatness. To conclude all the titles in one, the king is called the Tiger King. And why he is given this title, it is shown in this story. The author tells us that he would let us know why the king was called the Tiger King. He further promises the readers that he will not go back on his promise even if he is under the threat of an attack by Stuka bomber aircraft. Instead, he says that the Stuka bomber aircraft can go back because he is not scared of it, and he will tell the readers why the king was called the Tiger King. The author says that before elaborating about the Tiger King, one important thing about him was that any person who would read about the Tiger King, he would like to meet a man of such undefeatable courage. But he says that there is no chance of meeting the king because king is no more, he is already dead and has gone to heaven. The manner in which the Tiger King died was very interesting. The writer could tell us about it only at the end of the story, but he adds that a very interesting fact about the Tiger King's death was that when the Tiger King was born, astrologers had predicted at that time that one day the Tiger King would die. This prediction is meaningless because, as a matter of fact, everyone has to die who has been born in this world. The author gives an elaborate description of what the astrologers predicted at the time of the birth of the Tiger King. They said that the child would grow up to become a brave warrior, a hero, a big champion, but after that they stopped and they began to bit their lips in order to show their unwillingness, their reluctance to speak. When the astrologers were forced to continue, they said that when they would reveal just now was a secret, and they said that the child, that is the Tiger King, was born under a star, and that means when he was born, the star which was up there in the sky was such that any person who was born at that time had to meet his death one day. Again, this prediction is meaningless because, as a fact, everyone has to meet his death one day. There is nothing to be predicted. As the astrologers revealed their secret prediction, a miracle took place. And what was that? The 10-day-old tiger, whose name was Jilani Jung Bahadur, spoke up. All the listeners were surprised to see that a 10-day-old baby was speaking, and the Tiger King called out to the wise astrologers, and the main astrologer removed his spectacles and looked intently at the little baby. The tiger said in its crying voice that all those who are born, they have to die one day, and he need not any prediction for that. He added that if they told him the manner of his death, that would make some sense to it. The chief astrologer was amazed to see a 10-day-old child speaking and asking intelligent questions. It was unbelievable for him, just like the news which came from the war field. He took off his finger from his nose and looked carefully at the little prince. Then he added that as the Tiger King was born in the hour of the bull, which was an enemy of the tiger, hence the tiger king would die due to a tiger. The writer, the author says that the reader may feel that the tiger king trembled upon hearing the name of the tiger, but actually it did not happen. On the other hand, as soon as the crown prince Jung Bahadur heard the name of a tiger, he made a deep growling sound and spoke terrifying and very dreadful words came out of his mouth. He said that, "Let tigers beware of me." Further, the author says that this story is a rumor that was heard by him in Pratibandhapuram, but if we look at the happenings of the past, we could conclude that these rumors were based on true happenings. Some truth was also there behind it. The crown prince Jung Bahadur grew taller and stronger as the time passed by, and there were no other miracles in his childhood except this incident. As a boy, he drank the milk of an English cow. He was brought up by an English governess. He was taught English by an English teacher. He watched only English movies, just like the other crown princes of other states. And when the crown prince turned 20 years of age, the royal state that had been in the custody of the court of wards that was under the guardians was handed over to this prince. All the people who lived in the kingdom were aware of the astrologer's prediction all the time, and many of them kept on discussing about it, and one day this rumor reached the ears of the king himself. Pratibandhapuram state had many forests and they had number of tigers in them also. The Maharaja was aware of an important line, bacho. The Maharaja was aware of an old saying that you could kill even a cow in order to protect yourself. So he felt that the cow, which was considered to be a holy animal, could also be killed for self-defense. Then no one would object if he killed a tiger in order to protect himself. So Maharaja Jung Bahadur started out on a tiger hunting expedition and he went into the forest. He was very excited when he killed the first tiger. He called for the state astrologer and showed him the dead body of the tiger. The king asked the astrologer for his comments now. Now, what did he say? The astrologer replied that the king could kill 99 tigers in the same way as he had killed this first one. And after that, he stopped speaking. The king asked him to speak without fear and complete his statement. So, the astrologer said that the king had to be very careful with the 100th tiger. And the king asked him what would happen if he had killed the 100th tiger also, then what he would do. The astrologer replied that he would tear all his books. It is the answer, bacho. Tear all his books of astrology and set them on fire. He continued that he shall cut off his hair and would change his profession from an astrologer to an insurance agent, as he would not remain a good astrologer any longer if his prediction disproved. From that day, the tigers in Pratibandhapuram had a nice time, as the kingdom banned tiger hunting by anyone else except the Maharaja. No one was allowed to kill a tiger, or the law was so strict that an official announcement was made, a proclamation had been made. If anyone was caught killing a tiger or even throwing a stone on the tiger, his wealth, his property would be confiscated, would be taken away by the kingdom of Pratibandhapuram. The king of Pratibandhapuram took an oath that he would attend to all his matters, all his affairs of the kingdom only after he had killed how many tigers? 100 tigers. In the beginning, it seems that he would achieve his target very fast. and it was materializing. It was not that he was afraid of the tiger. No, when the tiger went on his when the king went on his hunting expeditions, he faced danger many times. At times, his bullet missed its target. The tiger jumped on him. The king would fight with the tigers barehanded, and each time he won and killed the tiger. The author tells us another instance also when the King Jang Bahadur was about to lose his throne. Important question, bachcho. A high-ranking British officer visited Pratibandhpuram and he was fond of hunting the tigers, and he wanted to get himself photographed with the dead tigers. He wanted to hunt the tiger as usual, but as the Maharaja had banned the tiger hunting, he did not give permission. So the secretary of the British official sent a message through the Diwan of king that the actual killing could be done by the Maharaja himself, and the British official would get himself photographed by the carcass, by the dead body of the tiger only. But the king did not allow that much even. He offered him to go on any other hunting like mouse or even a mosquito hunt or a boar hunt, and he refused to arrange a tiger hunting for this British officer. This British officer then, after this incident, he was in fear of losing his kingdom. Now there was a big problem in front of the king, how he would save his kingdom. He called his minister, his diwan, and had a conference over the issue with him. Accordingly, he sent a telegram to a famous jeweler in Calcutta and placed an order for expensive diamond rings of different design for the good lady, for the wife of the official. And soon 50 diamond rings arrived, and all the rings were sent to the British officer's wife. He wanted to please her in order to make good the damage that he had done by refusing the official from going on a tiger hunt in his kingdom. The king had expected that the officer's wife would choose one or two rings and return the others, but what did she do? She just sent a reply saying thanks for the gifts, and he kept all the rings with herself. But after 2 days, the British jeweler sent a bill of 3 lakhs rupees for the 50 rings they had sent. The Maharaja was happy that he had saved his kingdom after paying 3 lakhs rupees. The king was very successful in his tiger hunting mission, and in the span of 10 years, he had killed 70 tigers. And a problem stopped his mission. What was the obstacle which came on his way? The problem was this, that there were no more tigers in the forests of Pratibandhpuram, and now here the author has created a humor. One question will be there, bring out the humorous points from this story, so it is also one point to be added. One day the king called his minister and waved his gun, moved his gun towards him. He said that he was yet to kill 30 more tigers. The Diwan, who was an old man, was scared, and when he saw the gun, he cried to the king. He said that he was not a tiger, as he was very much afraid to see the aim of king's gun towards himself. The king said that he was not foolish, that he would mistake the Diwan for a tiger. The minister was so scared that he added that he was neither a gun. The king said that he knew that he was neither a tiger nor a gun. But on the other hand, the king told the Diwan that he had called him for another reason. He had decided to get married. The baffled, the confused Diwan became more confused, and he answered in a silly way. He said that the minister had the Diwan had already 2 wives, and if he married the king, so then after listening this, the king interrupted the Diwan and scolded him for speaking such nonsense. He said that he had no reason to marry that old man. He wanted to marry a girl of human being. And he ordered the Diwan that he should calculate the number of tigers in the neighboring states, and one girl should be there that could be a good match for the king. The order was followed. All the neighboring states were checked and the number of tiger was calculated, and finally they got such a girl which was quite matchable to the tiger king. Right girl they had found, and the king got married. After that, Sir Jilani Jang Bahadur, whenever he went to his in-laws' kingdom, he would kill 5 or 6 tigers in the kingdom, and in this the number of tiger hunt reached 99. Only one tiger was left to complete the tally of 100. Now the king became very much tensed because he was very much anxious also, and by this time the forests of his in-laws kingdom were also dried up and all the tigers had extincted. Only there was question of one tiger only. At this time, he was reminded of the late astrologer's words that he was supposed to be very careful with the 100 tiger that he hunted, and the king agreed. The tigers were uncontrollable animals, they were wild animals, and one should be very much careful and cautious of it. But he was not able to find the 100 tiger that he could kill. The author again creates humor by saying that it was easier to find tiger's milk in the kingdom rather than an alive tiger. This made the king very sad, but his sadness disappeared when a few villagers came from a hillside village and they informed that the sheep had begun disappearing from that field very fast. There were 2 persons, Khader Mian Sahib and Virasami Necker, who could swallow the whole sheep. First the things were ascertained from them, and after getting this confirmation, they reached the conclusion some tiger was there. They rushed towards Maharaja and informed him about this. The king was so happy, Maharaja was so happy that he relaxed all the villages from all the taxes for the next 3 years, and he himself set out to hunt the tiger. But the king could not locate the tiger easily. It seemed as if the tiger was hidden in order to make fun of king's desire. But the king was determined. He did not leave the forest until he would find the tiger. With the passing days, he became very angry, but he was firm to kill the tiger. In his anger, what did he do? He removed many officers from his kingdom. One day he called his Diwan and ordered him to increase the land tax to double. He felt by doing this the people would become unhappy and his kingdom would become a part of Indian National Congress. And when the Diwan wanted to tell something to his king, he just rejected him and scolded him. He said that if he was not able to get the solution, then he himself should leave the job. And after that this incident, when Diwan reached home, he was sure that nothing can satisfy the king until he gets the 100 tiger. The Diwan thought that the tiger that had been brought from the People's Park in Madras, or National Park, and was hidden in his house, if he hands over that tiger to king, then he will feel relieved. The Diwan, along with his wife, pulled the tiger into his car and drove the car to the forest where the Maharaja was hunting. The tiger did not come out of the car, and the Diwan had a tough time pushing the tiger out of the car into the forest. The next day, same tiger was spotted by the Maharaja. He was very happy to see the 100 tiger. He aimed at the tiger fell down as if it had been shot dead by the king. He was so overjoyed that he shouted that he had fulfilled his oath and 100 tiger was killed. The king After that, the king had left and asked the hunters to bring the dead body of the king, bring the dead body of the tiger in a grand procession, and he himself went away by his car. After the king had left, the assistants they came closer to have a look of the tiger and saw that it was alive. They realized that the tiger's bullet had missed the mark. The tiger had nearly fainted due to the shock as the bullet had passed close to it. The hunters were confused what to do, and so one of them aimed at the tiger and shot it dead. Then the hunters, the assistants, followed the king's orders and took the dead body of the tiger to the town in a procession. It was buried and a beautiful tomb was erected on the tiger's grave. After a few days, the Maharaja's son's third birthday was there, and he decided to celebrate it. Until now, he did not find any time to spend with his crown prince. Now he decided to celebrate his birthday. So he went to the market of Pratibandhapuram and went to each and every shop in shopping centers to purchase a gift. But he searched every shop but could not find any suitable gift for his son. Finally, he saw a wooden tiger in a toy shop and considered it to be the perfect gift. He purchased it. It was very cheap in cost, but the shopkeeper did not quote the low price. He was afraid of being punished. So he asked the king that it would cost 300 rupees, and the king purchased that wooden tiger, and both came back home. And the whole day, king and his son played with the wooden tiger. The tiger had been made by an unskilled, untalented carpenter, and it had tiny sly wings. It had wood pricks over its body. One of the prick pierced the Maharaja's right hand, and Maharaja pulled it out and continued to play with the prince. The next day, there was a lot of infection in Maharaja's right hand due to wooden sliver in his hand. In a period of 4 days, the infection spread and it became a very severe wound in the right arm of the king. 3 famous surgeons were called from Madras, and they decided to operate upon the king. After the operation, the surgeons came out of the theatre and said that the operation was successful and the Maharaja was dead. Here, the surgeon's words are contradictory because if the king died, it meant that the operation was unsuccessful, whereas they said that it was successful. Actually, they were supporting the words of the astrologer. The wooden tiger was the 100th tiger that he had killed the king Jang Bahadur, and thus made the astrologer's prediction true. So in this manner, the 100th tiger took revenge upon the tiger king and killed him. Very interesting story, students, it is. And word by word I have taught you the whole chapter. Go through the story again, and if you have any doubt, you can call me. Thank you.